Have you ever noticed how simple daily activities like standing up from a chair or walking up a few stairs have started to feel harder? Maybe it takes just a few seconds longer to rise, or maybe there's a strange heaviness in your legs after lunch. And while it's easy to blame age, what if the real reason isn't about what you've stopped doing, but what you're still doing every single day? Here's something many seniors never consider. Certain fruits, the very ones we were raised to believe were always healthy, can actually work against your body as you age. That's right. Some fruits, despite being packed with vitamins and praised for decades, can slowly wear down your legs, inflame your joints, and sap the strength you need to stay independent. Now, this doesn't mean all fruits are bad. Far from it. But as your metabolism slows and circulation changes, your body doesn't process sugar, acids, and certain enzymes the same way it used to. And that's where the danger hides. In the everyday habits we think are helping us, but may be quietly causing harm. Today, we'll reveal the first fruit that many seniors consume without a second thought. It's affordable, widely available, and often recommended as a healthy snack. But for adults over 60, it might be doing more harm than good. And the worst part? It's promoted almost everywhere as a muscle-supporting food. Let's talk about one of bananas. 1. Bananas. Not always a muscle saver. Soft, sweet, and rich in potassium, bananas have long been considered a go-to for energy and muscle health. They're easy to chew, don't require refrigeration, and offer a quick snack option for many seniors. Sounds ideal, right? But here's what most people don't realize. As we age, our body's ability to regulate blood sugar declines. Bananas, especially ripe ones, contain high levels of natural sugar and fast-digesting carbs. This combination causes your blood sugar to rise rapidly. For younger adults, that might not be a big deal, but for seniors, it's a silent issue. When blood sugar spikes, your body releases insulin to manage the glucose. However, with age, insulin sensitivity tends to decrease. This makes it harder for your body to process sugars efficiently, and over time, these spikes trigger inflammation. And guess where that inflammation shows up? That's right, your legs, joints, and muscles. You might start to notice dull soreness in your thighs or calves after eating, increased stiffness when getting up from a chair, a heavy feeling in your legs during short walks, nighttime cramps or swelling around the ankles. And it's not just the sugar. Bananas also cause some seniors to retain fluid, especially if there are existing heart or kidney concerns. This can lead to puffy feet, swollen knees, achy joints. It's a chain reaction that begins with a seemingly innocent fruit. Take Margaret, for example. She's 72 and lives an active lifestyle. Every morning she ate a banana with her breakfast, believing it helped prevent leg cramps. But as the weeks went by, she noticed her knees felt more swollen, and she began having trouble during her evening walks. Her doctor ruled out major issues, but when she cut out bananas for 2 weeks, something surprising happened. Her swelling decreased, and her legs felt lighter. Bananas aren't evil, but they may not be right for every senior. The illusion of muscle support. We've been told for years that bananas support muscle function because of their potassium content. While that's true, it's not the full picture. You can get potassium from other sources that don't raise blood sugar or promote fluid retention, like avocados or leafy greens. Also, the type of energy bananas offer isn't long-lasting. That sugar rush might feel like a pick-me-up, but it often comes with a crash. For someone trying to stay energized throughout the day, that crash can mean fatigue, imbalance, or even dizziness, all of which increase the risk of falls. Here's the thing. Not all seniors react the same way, but if you're over 60 and have noticed worsening leg pain, knee stiffness, or unexplained swelling, your fruit bowl might deserve a second look. So what should you do? Monitor your response. Try skipping bananas for a week or two and observe any changes in how your legs feel. Swap them out. Consider lower sugar fruits that don't spike blood sugar. Berries, pears, or even a few slices of apple. More on those later. Stay hydrated. Dehydration can also worsen joint pain and cramps, so make sure your fluid intake is steady throughout the day. Your goal isn't to fear fruit, it's to choose wisely based on what your body needs right now, not what worked decades ago. 2. Pineapple. The acidic trap. Another fruit that looks completely harmless on your plate, but maybe playing a bigger role in your discomfort than you think. Pineapple. Yes, that bright, juicy tropical delight that's often praised for being anti-inflammatory and rich in enzymes. It's refreshing, it feels healthy, and many seniors include it in their smoothies or as a snack. But here's the uncomfortable truth. For people over 60, pineapple might be doing more harm than good. On the surface, it seems like a dream fruit. It's packed with vitamin C and contains bromelain, an enzyme that helps with digestion, and is widely marketed as anti-inflammatory. That sounds great, right? Especially for anyone dealing with arthritis or digestive issues. The problem? That benefit comes with a hidden cost. Pineapple is naturally high in acids and sugars, two things that aging bodies struggle with. As we get older, the lining of the stomach and intestines becomes more sensitive, and our blood vessels become more fragile. When you introduce a highly acidic fruit like pineapple, it can irritate tissues, especially those already inflamed from chronic conditions like arthritis or poor circulation. Even more concerning is the sugar spike. You might think it's natural sugar, so it's fine. But your body doesn't always see it that way, especially after 60. Blood sugar regulation weakens with age. A slice or two of pineapple might raise your glucose levels quickly, triggering inflammation in your joints and causing poor circulation in your lower body. That's when you feel that dull ache in your legs or that stiffness in your knees after just a bit of walking. Still feel skeptical? Imagine someone like Evelyn. She's 71, walks every morning, eats what she considers a healthy diet, and swears by her morning bowl of chopped fruit, pineapple included. But for the last year, she's noticed her ankles swelling and her knees locking up when she sits for more than half an hour. After cutting back on pineapple and replacing it with low-sugar berries, those symptoms began to fade within weeks. No medication, just awareness. And then there's drug interaction, a point most people don't consider. If you take blood thinners or anti-inflammatory medications, the bromelain in pineapple can amplify or even interfere with those drugs, making your dosage either too strong or too weak. Worst of all, pineapple doesn't give you an obvious signal that something's wrong. The effect is slow and sneaky. There's no stomach pain, no headache, just a gradual weakening, a bit more stiffness each week until walking around the house feels like a chore. That's how these things get missed. Not because they're loud, but because they're quiet. And if pineapple, which is often marketed as a healing food, can do that, what about grapes? Another fruit that seems innocent and heart-friendly. Let's take a closer look. 3. Grapes. The small fruit with a big consequence. They're sweet, bite-sized, and feel like a healthy replacement for candy. Red, green, black. They come in all colors and are often seen as a smart snack. Full of antioxidants, right? Good for the heart? Sure, but again, that's only part of the story. Grapes are one of the most sugar-dense fruits you can eat in such a small quantity. A handful seems harmless, but that handful can contain 20 to 25 grams of sugar, often consumed in seconds without chewing much. And for aging bodies, especially those with insulin resistance, diabetes, or even borderline blood sugar issues, that spike can be dangerous. But there's something else at play here. Fructose. Grapes contain high levels of fructose, which, unlike glucose, is processed directly by the liver. For younger individuals, this isn't a huge deal, but in older adults, the liver often works slower and less efficiently. That excess fructose doesn't just get stored as fat, it's often converted into uric acid. Why does that matter? Because uric acid doesn't just float around harmlessly. It accumulates in your joints, particularly in the toes, ankles, and knees, triggering pain, swelling, and even gout. If you've ever felt that sharp, burning pain in your big toe at night, or that strange tightness in your calves after dinner, this might be the root cause. Not to mention the inflammatory response grapes can cause throughout the body. While they do contain antioxidants like resveratrol, those benefits can be offset by the blood sugar instability and uric acid buildup they trigger. Grapes are also extremely easy to overeat. Unlike an apple or banana, which you peel and bite into, grapes go straight from bowl to mouth, dozens at a time. That means sugar overload without fullness, which is the worst combination for older adults trying to maintain steady energy and reduce inflammation. Just ask someone like Leo, a retired engineer in his late 60s. He thought he was doing the right thing by replacing desserts with grapes after dinner. But after 3 months, he noticed his legs felt tight and swollen every morning, and he couldn't figure out why. His doctor mentioned uric acid, and Leo made a switch. Berries and cucumber slices instead. Within weeks, his symptoms faded. The grapes weren't bad, they were just bad for him right now. That's the point. Aging changes the rules. Foods that once energized you might now drain you. What once healed your body can now silently hurt it, especially when it comes to leg strength, blood flow, and joint flexibility. So, what do? You don't have to eliminate all fruits, but you do need to start choosing smarter. Coming up next, we'll cover 2 more fruits that seniors should think twice about. One that pretends to hydrate but secretly inflames your joints, and another that's loved for its vitamin C but can turn into an acidic nightmare for aging knees and hips. If you've ever felt that strange heaviness in your legs or persistent swelling in your ankles, and you thought it was just aging, keep reading. The answer might be sitting in your fruit bowl. If you got to this part of the video, it means that you're really interested in improving your health. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss a tip that could boost your healthiness. 4. Watermelon. The sugar that pretends to hydrate. It's light, it's juicy, it's about 90% water. On the surface, it seems like the safest fruit you can eat. But beneath that refreshing bite lies a dangerous truth for aging legs. The real issue isn't the water, it's the sugar. Watermelon ranks extremely high on the glycemic index, meaning it spikes blood sugar levels very quickly. While your body may have handled these spikes easily in your 30s or 40s, things change dramatically after 60. Insulin sensitivity drops, and the body takes longer to clear sugar from the bloodstream. That leaves it circulating longer, fueling inflammation and disrupting blood flow, especially to the lower limbs. If you've ever noticed that you feel heavy or slightly bloated after eating a bowl of watermelon, or that your knees feel stiff the next morning, that's no coincidence. Now think about how we typically eat watermelon. Not a small portion, a giant slice, sometimes 2. Because it feels like eating water, we tend to forget how much sugar we're actually consuming. And even though it's natural sugar, your aging circulation system still treats it like a threat, especially when eaten in excess. And it's not just about blood sugar. Watermelon can also intensify joint inflammation. If you're already struggling with arthritis or swelling in your knees or ankles, that sudden insulin response can trigger more fluid retention, making joints feel even tighter. Take Henry, for example. He's 72 and stays active. Every morning, he'd start his day with a walk and finish with a big bowl of watermelon. But over time, he began noticing heaviness in his legs, even though nothing else had changed. When he mentioned it to his nutritionist, she suggested swapping the watermelon for a few slices of cucumber with sea salt. Within a week, the difference was noticeable. Lighter legs, more stable energy, and less swelling by the afternoon. And here's something you probably haven't heard before. When sugar spikes occur frequently, the body responds by releasing more inflammatory hormones. These travel throughout the bloodstream, targeting areas with already compromised circulation. For seniors, that's often the legs, knees, and feet. So if you're someone who enjoys watermelon daily, it might be time to step back and ask, is this really hydrating me, or is it quietly draining my strength? Now let's talk about a fruit that's practically everywhere. In juices, in supplements, in breakfast trays and morning routines. 5. Oranges, vitamin C. But at what cost? We've been taught since childhood that oranges are good for us. And to be fair, they are rich in vitamin C, which supports immune health. But for seniors, especially those with joint pain or inflammation, oranges can be more foe than friend. Here's why. Citrus fruits like oranges are highly acidic. While this isn't a big deal for younger people with resilient digestion and strong joints, aging bodies react differently. That citric acid can irritate soft tissues, especially those around already inflamed joints. If your knees or hips feel tight in the morning, or you experience an odd soreness after sitting for a while, this may be playing a role. And the problem isn't just eating oranges directly, it's also the orange juice, which often packs the sugar of 3 or 4 oranges in a single glass, without the fiber to slow absorption. What happens when that much sugar enters the bloodstream quickly? A spike, then a crash, then inflammation. That's when you feel achy ankles, burning calves, or tight hips just from walking up a set of stairs. The process is so gradual that most people don't associate it with what they're eating. But your body knows, your joints know. Let's take Dolores. She's 71 and always started her day with a tall glass of orange juice, believing it helped her immune system. She also had chronic hip discomfort and morning knee pain, which she attributed to aging. But when she cut out citrus for 2 weeks and replaced it with a small bowl of berries, she woke up with less stiffness, and for the first time in years walked up the stairs without gripping the handrail. And here's the tricky part. We often feel good while we're eating these fruits. Oranges taste fresh and energizing. Watermelon feels cooling. But the effects are delayed, and that's what makes them deceptive. It's not about never eating oranges again. It's about awareness. If you're someone already experiencing joint pain, swelling in the legs, or balance issues, these small shifts in fruit choice can make a big difference. Let's recap what we've learned so far. Bananas, although high in potassium, can spike blood sugar and promote water retention. Pineapple, rich in bromelain, is acidic and sugary, potentially inflaming joints and affecting medication. Grapes sneak in loads of fructose that convert to uric acid, worsening joint pain and stiffness. Watermelon, while hydrating, delivers massive sugar spikes that harm circulation and worsen inflammation. Oranges, the healthy morning staple, are acidic and loaded with sugars that irritate already sensitive joints. And these aren't rare fruits. They're the ones we trust, the ones we serve to our grandchildren, the ones we've eaten for decades without questioning. But as we age, our bodies change, and so must our approach to health. Coming up next, we'll uncover 2 final fruits that most seniors consider harmless, but could be quietly making leg cramps, fatigue, and poor mobility even worse. One of them is often considered a safe snack because it's low in sugar, but as you'll see, it holds a hidden compound that may be irritating your body every single day. Stay tuned. And if you've found even one insight today that made you think twice about what's on your plate, imagine what one small change could do for your joints, your energy, and your independence. 6. Green apples. The unexpected trigger for leg pain. Crisp, refreshing, low in sugar. Green apples have long been considered a smart, clean snack, especially for people trying to avoid overly sweet options. But beneath that tart crunch lies a powerful compound that can wreak havoc on aging joints. Malic acid. It's the same acid that gives green apples their sharp, tangy taste. While malic acid isn't inherently bad, in fact, it helps younger bodies with energy metabolism. It can be irritating for seniors, especially those with sensitive digestion or inflammation-related joint issues. Here's why. As we get older, the lining of our gut becomes more delicate and our joints less forgiving. Malic acid, when consumed regularly, can aggravate inflammation in soft tissues. This irritation doesn't always show up immediately. It builds, causing subtle discomfort, stiffness after sitting, or a strange tightness in the legs when getting out of bed. Have you ever woken up with achy hips or sore calves and had no idea why? It could be the apple you ate the night before, especially if you've been enjoying them raw or right before bed when digestion slows down. Then there's the natural sugar. Yes, green apples aren't as sweet as red ones, but they still contain a fair amount of fructose. And for seniors with slower metabolism, this sugar can cause blood sugar fluctuations that further inflame the joints and lead to nighttime leg cramps or morning stiffness. Take Marta, for example. She's 69 and tried to make better snack choices. Every afternoon, she'd slice a green apple and eat it with a bit of nut butter. But she kept waking up with a weird tension in her thighs and tightness in her knees. Her doctor couldn't find anything specific wrong, but when she cut out green apples for 2 weeks, the difference was immediate. Her legs felt lighter, her morning stiffness decreased, and her digestion improved. Green apples look healthy. They feel clean. But for an aging body, they can trigger a chain reaction of irritation, blood sugar spikes, and inflammation that slowly wears away at your strength and flexibility. Now let's move to the final fruit on our list. It's juicy, tropical, and widely loved, especially in smoothies and summer snacks. But it may be the most deceptive fruit for seniors. 7. Mango, the sweet saboteur of joint health. If one fruit can be called a natural sugar bomb, it's the mango. Soft, aromatic, and packed with flavor, mangoes feel like a treat from nature. And while they're high in vitamins A and C, the real story here is the sheer volume of sugar packed into every slice. Most people don't realize this, but a single medium mango contains over 45 grams of sugar, more than a can of soda. Now, in a young, physically active person, the body can manage that rush. But in seniors, that sudden blood sugar spike becomes a serious issue. It forces the body to pump out insulin, which over time becomes less and less effective. The result? Inflammation. And where does that inflammation settle first? You guessed it, in your legs, in the soft tissues around the knees, ankles, toes, and hips. You may feel it as burning feet in the evening, swollen ankles, or that annoying heaviness in your legs after a meal. It's not sudden, and that's what makes it tricky. The effects of mango sneak in slowly, making you think it's just getting older. But it's not just the sugar. Mangoes can also irritate those who suffer from nerve-related discomfort. If you've experienced tingling in your legs or an uncomfortable warmth or buzzing in the feet, the sugar content in mangoes may be overstimulating your nervous system, especially when consumed regularly. And let's be honest, nobody eats just a few bites of mango. It's sweet, it's refreshing, and it's easy to eat a full bowl without thinking twice. But when you're dealing with aging circulation and sensitive joints, that's like pouring fuel on a slow-burning fire. Now imagine doing that every week, or even daily. Over time, that pattern can accelerate inflammation, reduce mobility, and make recovery from leg fatigue much harder. So, what's the solution? You don't have to fear fruit, just understand it. Know that your body today may not respond the same way it did 20 or 30 years ago. It's about making smart swaps, not cutting everything out. Now that we've looked at all 7 of the most problematic fruits for seniors, let's take a step back. This isn't about blaming fruit. It's about understanding your body. Your joints are more sensitive, your circulation is slower, your digestive system has changed, and your blood sugar response is different. What used to be harmless could now be holding you back. Not in dramatic, painful ways, but in quiet, consistent ones. Think about this. That minor tightness in your knees, the afternoon swelling in your ankles, the burning sensation in your feet at night, the sluggish feeling climbing stairs. These are signs. Not of failure, but of something your body is trying to tell you. The good news is, once you identify the triggers like pineapple, bananas, grapes, watermelon, oranges, green apples, and mango, you can make small adjustments that lead to powerful changes. And you don't have to give up fruit altogether. The goal isn't just to live longer, it's to walk stronger. Climb stairs with ease, get out of your chair without wincing, and enjoy your independence with vitality and strength. You deserve that, and you can absolutely get there, starting with what's on your plate. We've learned that not all fruits are made equal, particularly as we become older. Even while many are nutrient-dense, some can subtly harm your body by causing joint pain, inflammation, poor circulation, and the progressive weakening of your legs. On the surface, fruits like bananas, pineapple, grapes, melons, oranges, green apples, and mango, may appear healthful, but a person over 60 may find it difficult to metabolize their sugar level, acidity, or hidden substances. We've learned that not all fruits are made equal, particularly as we become older. Even while many are nutrient-dense, some can subtly harm your body by causing joint pain, inflammation, poor circulation, and the progressive weakening of your legs. On the surface, fruits like bananas, pineapple, grapes, melons, oranges, green apples, and mango may appear healthful, but a person over 60 may find it difficult to metabolize their sugar level, acidity, or hidden substances. And the worst part? The damage is rarely instant. It's subtle, slow. You don't feel it all at once until getting up from a chair hurts, or a short walk leaves your calves sore, or your ankles swell after lunch. But now you know, and knowing is the first step. You don't need to cut fruit from your life. You just need to make smarter choices. Replace those problematic options with anti-inflammatory, joint-friendly fruits like berries, cherries, avocado, papaya, and pears. These foods help you move better, feel lighter, and stay strong well into your later years. Because living longer is one thing, but living well, with mobility, independence, and strength, is what truly matters. So if this message resonated with you, if you learned something new today, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We're here to bring you the honest, science-backed health advice that others don't talk about. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a tip that could change your health and your life. Your legs carry your freedom. Let's take care of them together.